In all the work that I've done with people over the last 20 years, there's one skill that's underdeveloped in just about everyone. It has nothing to do with how smart you are. It has nothing to do with how accomplished you are, how much money you have, or what you've done in your life. It's the skill, the ability to set boundaries, to set healthy emotional boundaries with other people. In your romantic relationships, with your friends, with your kids, and of course, at work. And it's that inability or that struggle to set healthy boundaries that's the cause for so much frustration and overwhelm and burnout. And we're going to show you how you can do it really differently. So first, let's talk about what do we mean by boundaries. The word boundary makes you think that it's some hard, fast, strict thing. But in human relationships, boundaries are much more fluid than that. It's something that evolves over time with somebody else. We don't need to be harsh or punitive with the people in our life, just like we wouldn't want them to be harsh or punitive with us. But what we want from the people around us, from the people who care about us, who love us, who want the best for us, is we want them to say no at some point. We want them to say, hey, you've been repeating that story a lot over the last couple of weeks, or you keep falling into the same pattern in your relationships, and I'd love to see you do something different. That's what a boundary looks like. That's what we want from the people in our lives. But will you give them that same thing? Will you show up in your relationships and say to your friends, the people who are stuck and repeating the same pattern, whether it's in dating or in their work or complaining about their colleagues or something in their family, they're complaining about their mother or their father or some stuck place in their family, will you be the person to set the boundary and say, hey, I love you, but I don't want to keep hearing this story over and over again. What I'm interested in is, what are you going to do to change? I want to support you in that. That, when you're setting boundaries with the people in your life, that's real love. That's got some muscle to it, right? That's got that raw emotion that we want to feel, that we want the people around us to give us that gift. And that's what I hope that you'll do with the people in your life. Because when we're not setting those boundaries, when we don't stand for what we think, when we don't say what we feel, we're actually robbing that other person of the opportunity to change. We're helping them stay stuck. It's an uncomfortable thought to think about the fact that right when we're trying to care about someone, when we think we've got their best interests at heart, by not speaking our truth, by not setting a boundary, by not saying no to a lesser version of them, we're actually holding them back. Now, of course, they're the ones who have to change. But if the people around them won't take the risk, if you won't take the risk to say, hey, wait a second, there's a better version of you, there's a stronger version of you, there's a more honest version of you, there's a more vulnerable version of you, and I want to see that. If we don't do that, then we're not showing up in our relationships in the way that we would really want to be. So that's my invitation to you when you think about your relationships, whether it's at work, whether it's with your kids, whether it's with your friends. Where are the places where you're holding yourself back and you're not setting those boundaries? You're not speaking up and you're not saying what you think and what you feel. It doesn't mean you're right. You might be totally misinterpreting the situation. There might be information or context that you don't have. But if you don't set a boundary, you'll never know.